Rayan sat on the edge of his bed, dressed for work, but feeling completely hollow. The clock ticked. His coffee sat untouched. The world outside his window buzzed with life. Cars rushing, people moving, schedules unfolding. But inside him, everything was still. Muted. Number. He had done everything society asked of him. A stable job, a decent apartment, a clean reputation. He answered emails with a smiley face, said, "I'm fine," even when he wasn't, and kept showing up, day after day, like a machine. But behind his practiced smile and polished shoes lived a man who had forgotten what it meant to feel alive. There was no joy, no sadness, just an overwhelming sense of nothingness. That night, lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling, Rayan whispered into the silence, "Is this it? Is this what life is supposed to feel like?" The next morning, everything looked the same. But something had shifted. On the train ride home from work, he noticed things he hadn't seen in years. A boy laughing as he chased soap bubbles through the park. An old couple holding hands. An artist on a bench, painting the sunset with reckless strokes and stained fingers. And then, Rayan saw his own reflection in the train window. Blank eyes, a lifeless stare. It hit him hard. He wasn't really living. He was just existing, and had been for years. That night, instead of reaching for his phone or turning on a show to fill the silence, Rayan sat in the quiet and faced himself. He asked a terrifying question. What happened to the boy I used to be? He remembered. He remembered playing guitar in the middle of the night, scribbling down songs and poems without worrying if they were good enough. He remembered dancing in the kitchen when no one was looking, running in the rain without an umbrella, crying during movies, dreaming about a life that felt like magic. He missed that boy who used to feel everything, too much. And so, with trembling hands, he found his old guitar in the back of his closet. The strings were rusty, his fingers were out of practice. But as he strummed, something deep inside cracked open. The sound was imperfect, but it was real. And for the first time in what felt like forever, he felt something again. He didn't quit his job. He didn't move cities. But every day after that, he made space for his soul. 10 minutes of music, a morning walk with no headphones, a poem scribbled in the Notes app on his phone, a deep conversation with someone he hadn't talked to in years. Slowly, quietly, life began to return to him. He started noticing beauty again, sunlight through the blinds, laughter on the street, the way his heart responded to the sound of rain. One day, after performing at a tiny open mic night, a woman approached him with teary eyes and said, "Your music made me feel like I'm not alone." He smiled, not out of pride, but out of recognition, because for the first time in years, he didn't feel alone either. Years later, Rayan wrote in his journal, a private note he never showed anyone. I used to live in grayscale, wake up, survive, sleep, repeat. But one day, I chose to feel again. And that's when life began, not all at once, but moment by moment, piece by piece. He folded the paper and tucked it into his guitar case, hoping that someday someone else might find it, someone lost, like he once was. Existing is surviving. Living is feeling. You don't need to make dramatic changes to live fully. Sometimes life begins the moment you give yourself permission to feel again, through music, through connection, through silence, through small acts of joy. You were not born just to pay bills and meet deadlines. You were born to create, to love, to laugh, to cry, to lose yourself in a sunset or a song. You were born to be alive. So today, pause, look inside. If your heart aches, listen to it. That ache is not the end, it's the beginning. Because the moment you stop numbing yourself and start choosing presence, that's the moment you truly start living. And it's never, ever too late.